believe that our questions, if any, that we ask this thing, should be probably focused around, out of character, probably focused around the different attempts on the different people's lives, because that might give us leads on where they're going, that sort of thing. So let's have a look here. We know where Strain is, we can go see him. Out of interest, do we know where Sepulchre Sigma is?
Who, sorry?
Sepulchre Sigma.
Where is that?
Apparently, in one of the reports, the pilot who was responsible for the attempt on one of the Lord Generals was taken to a place called Sepulchre Sigma.
Oh, Sepulchre Sigma, you mean?
Sepulchre.
Sepulchre Sigma. Yeah, you can look up information on Sepulchre Sigma if you want Sarlacc to look for keywords for that. It's basically like Grimdark Google, so.
Ooh.
Grimdark Google.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what?
It's not. At least it's not being...
That's just Internet Explorer.
Logaf takes over the controls. Grimdark Google's giant boobs. No.
Sunny's worship plan.
Safe search on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, based upon your degrees of success, alright, so the Tech Marine is able to access the local nodes, gaining spy logs of all individuals or information that work or pass through the immediate locale of the search. Okay, so Sepulchre Sigma is a very large prison where it's basically used to be a royal cemetery that the leadership of the various hive cities of this world sent their noble houses when they passed away. They interred them in crypts there. Since Ebengrave took over command of the Canis Salient, he has taken possession of the Sepulchre and turned it into a maximum security prison. So Sepulchre Sigma is where he sends his what he deems to be the Emperor's greatest enemies, and a number of Tau sympathizers, or believed Tau sympathizers, are interred in Sepulchre Sigma.
Do we know where it is, and do we know whether we'd be able to access it?
That information is classified.
Sure.
Would we need a secondary tech used to be able to find out from that classified information?
No, what Bermuda gets is what she gets on her life.
You said someone escorted us in here, right? And there's a person overlooking this?
Colonel Ling has been told to give you free reign, so basically you're allowed to Google things in private, basically. So
I go find, after that comes up, but then I guess I say, Solomon, come with me to find this Colonel Ling. We might be able to get more from him.
Yeah, he's literally just in the other room overseeing some technicians.
Yeah. I guess I'd take Solomon in there, then.
I love how it's just I need someone's, mind fucked with, come on.
Yeah.
Okay. You not talk to people yourself.
Well, no, it's just that you're better at interrogating people,
Okay, so, Colonel Matthias Ling, basically his career seems to have, from what you know of his service record that you've been given, seems to come largely from riding Ryla Vann's coattails. It is well known that he defers to her in most matters, and is in fact mostly loyal and subordinate to General Vann rather than Ebengrave, but she serves Ebengrave. He is sure, he is quite sure, and in his reports that you've reviewed on your way here, he is quite sure that the recent assassinations connected, to your operation here, is mostly concerned with Tau sympathizers from what he's seen. He's deeply afraid for his own life, it seems, though, but seems to be protected by General Vann. It seems on a great many, situations, Ebengrave has attempted to replace him with someone else, but General Vann seems committed to keeping him in his current position. So it's very...
Is she okay? Or...
Yeah, she's still here. She's waiting with her honor guard at the door, basically talking to them for you to finish whatever your business here is.
I'll use her so that I wish it worked with her.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say, General Vann, you had an attempt on your life not some small amount of time ago, did you not?
She nods and says, yes, indeed.
The pilot responsible for that, he has been taken to a place of interrogation called Sepulchre Sigma. Would you be able to provide access to such a prisoner for us?
She looks at you for a moment and says, it could perhaps be organized, my lord, if the need is great. Sepulchre Sigma is one of Sebasticor's greatest, holding areas. I may be able to convince him to allow you some brief access there, if the need is great. What do you intend to interrogate the man who attempted to take my life?
Possibly. We shall exhaust other, more pressing avenues before such a time.
Okay, so she says, well, I will entreat with Lord Ebengrave then to see if I can gain you access for a brief time to that prisoner.
Thank you.
Okay, then she bows and she starts going over to one of her sergeants to talk to him to send a message about what you requested.
Meanwhile, in the spy cave.
Yep, so is there anything else you want to ask in the spy cave? In the bat cave.
Yep.
Basically.
I would like to inquire regarding the death of Colonel Iedelus in his quarters, and possibly leads on his killers or this sidearm that killed him, and is apparently missing from the scene.
Mm-hmm. Let me just find that. Well, you can make the check if you want to, for me to while I look for this information.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, success.
that's a spicy meatball.
Do we have access to the supply of autopsy reports for the officers killed?
Well, I'm gonna see what you get from that result.
Yeah, it's possible, because, I've seen that as well. He had unexplained scratches on him.
Maybe you just liked it rough. You never know, guys.
Who doesn't, right?
Okay, so how many you got? Over 3 successes, right? Yeah, okay. So you're able to access all relevant local information, details of all individuals within the district, the city, or relevant information. You gain access to the entire planetary network and can see through any spy lands or access any archival data core relevant to the information you're seeking. Okay, so you have pretty much all the information then.
That's right.
Ta-da!
Okay, so Colonel Iedelus died in his quarters in the Ashlas Bastion, a modest cell-like room. Like most of the Crusades forces, Iedelus spent little time away from the front and has few possessions and quarters behind the lines. However, framed letters of commendation, pics of the colonel with minor dignitaries, medals, and similar accolades cover the room and the walls, which is what you see through the pic recorder, and you have all the relevant data about it as well. Anyone who's in the room and looking through the pic recorder right now can make a plus 30 scrutiny test. So anyone looking through the pic recorder into his room, plus 30 scrutiny.
Yes. Is it? Do we have multiple people doing this? Because I don't have scrutiny trained now.
Yeah. Only one of you needs to pass it, so it's okay. Alright, so Solomon and Sarlocke, looking through the pic recorder, you both notice something interesting in a picked image on one of his mantelpieces outside the Ashland Bastion. The image shows the Bastion's sanctification ceremony. It centers on Lord Middleton Aeschylus and the priests performing the blessing. However, amidst the crowd, a small group, including young versions of Vann, Ling, Iedelus, and Colton, Colton, and Blount all stand together. The blood has been cleaned from Iedelus's quarters, but the lock on his door remains broken. It appears a bladed instrument was used to crudely remove it, according to the reports. The door is the only way into the room, meaning the killer had to enter the bastion and pass through several hallways, past many guard stations to reach it. This is not nearly as impressive a feat as it might have been before the earthquakes created many huge cracks in the bastion's outer layer that have yet to be repaired, meaning the killer could have snuck in through various unknown cracks in the fortress's walls. Iedelus's quarters were not deep inside, but the killer would still have to need to know their location exactly to be able to reach them so stealthily and without incurring strange looks or anything like that.
Why was Iedelus away from the front?
Iedelus was away from the front here. He'd been recalled by Lord Commander Ebengrave to basically, like I said, Ebengrave essentially halted all forward momentum of the crusade in the Canna salient and basically brought all the senior officers to Spite to basically question and inter them all for possible sedition. So pretty much all the senior officers of the Canna salient were at the point, for the last 2 years have been sequestered basically inside the fortress.
How long did the withdrawal take?
Several months. He was here. The others, the murders have only occurred in the last year or so, and all of them were here. They all recalled themselves within a year after his orders came true. Okay.
So, quick question: how out of all of his senior generals, who has not been assassinated?
General Vann is one of the only ones who survived the assassination.
The only one, or one of?
One of the only ones that you currently know. There's several others, but the larger, it seems like it's very random, right? Because if they were only in going for generals, there's a great many other generals they could assassinate. But whoever these killers are, they seem to be targeting people in particular. And like I said with that scrutiny test, you noticed, Iedelus had a picture on his mantelpiece of him and General Vann and a few of the other people that have been murdered. Yeah. So it seems they were all friends. So for whatever reason, Vann, Iedelus, Colton, and whoever else that's in that picture all seem to be the targets of whoever's been assassinated, and they all seems to be friends or closely related to each other.
Yeah, can we tell how many in the picture, these people are actually of that group? Is there more than Vann, Colton, and Iedelus?
Well, Iedelus is... Yeah, let me just see the group's details.
So basically, we're zooming and enhancing on this, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Give me more pixels.
There's much younger versions of Vann, Colonel Ling, who's the guy, in charge of the spy network, Iedelus, Colton, and another man referenced in the picture as Blount, but you don't know who this man is, and he's not recorded anywhere.
So, Hans, say that again. You said Vann?
Vann,
yeah,
Ling. I'll just put them out. Give me a second.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. You've basically got Vann and Ling who are with us currently. You've got Colton and Iedelus who have both been assassinated, and you've got this fifth guy.
So there's General Vann, who is the one escorting you around the place, who's Ebengrave's right hand. There's Ling, who's in charge of his spy network. There's Iedelus, who's been murdered. Colton, who's been murdered. Vann had an assassination attempt against her, and this other individual who's labelled on the picture as Blount, but you do not know who he is, and there's no records of him.
There's no records of him, as in just
Yes, as in it's been completely purged from even the spy network.
If the Lord Commander would fall from grace and someone would need to replace him, who is the most likely candidate?
General Vann.
Vann? Alright. So, I guess over comms I would say, be suspicious of this Vann. She may be involved in this plot.
I would agree. If this is some kind of sub-faction movement, then Vaughn could be... it could have been a token assassination attempt to withdraw suspicion of her. Yeah.
It's possible. It is no secret to us, at least, that she has a desire to succeed the Lord Commander.
How is, from what we know, how is the Lord Commander to Vann? Did they get along well? Did they dislike each other?
Ebengrave trusts her completely.
Yeah.
Ebengrave trusts her completely, which is why she's his right hand. She respects him immensely and believes that the reason the Canis Salient is the most successful, despite the current setbacks of all the Salients, is because of his insightful and stern leadership against the Tau. However, she believes he's becoming dangerously paranoid, among other things. By the way, as for Iedelus's autopsy, he was killed by a bladed weapon, at least the size of an Astartes combat blade, and on his body there are several bite marks and other scratches, as if some sort of wild animal mauled him after he died.
Can I roll could I roll Forbidden Lore Xenos to try and identify any kind of common patterns?
Yep, sure.
Bonuses or whatever?
No, it would be completely flat. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you studious, did you say?
It's calculated.
You don't need help.
Okay. So you pour over the autopsy reports quite like vehemently, Sabrathon, and there's a number of, judging by the incisions and the bite marks, just a second.
Kroot, guys. Kroot did it.
That was my thought too.
Kroot or Vespid.
What? Kroot? Are Kroot stealthy?
Yes.
Alright.
So it's probably Kroot.
Okay.
Vespid probably isn't strong enough to break the lock, but
judging by the bite marks, there are a number of Xenos creatures that could have made the marks in particular. So roll a Medicaid test, -10 for me.
Okay. I gotta figure all this out because I have like a jillion bonuses. So wait, it's -10.
Yeah, and
okay,
nothing to do with like the healing of people would come into effect. So this is like pure knowledge.
I've got talented Medicaid, so that's
Okay. Yep. So you can clearly see, and you've seen these bites before, and some of your battle brothers who've engaged Tau forces, that they are unmistakably Kroot.
Okay, so we have a Kroot insurgency.
I guess the question is, do Kroot have the ability? I know of Tau stealth fighters, but do Kroot have? Are they able to use the same technology?
The Tau often give the Kroot weaponry and supplies, but the
pulse
Kroot
rifles,
but the Kroot tend to use their own weaponry and tactics.
Yeah, they don't really use the battle suits at all.
All right. Kroots are very distinct looking compared to humans, right?
Yes.
They're bipedal bird creatures.
Yeah.
They're near avian.
So how does a Kroot slip into a fortress past, I assume, several checkpoints? And
Kroot, for being Xenos, are surprisingly cunning creatures, so they could have slipped. Yeah, they could have slipped in during the chaos and lingered for days, and then taken their time going about the structure.
Alright.
It's also to be assumed that whatever Xenos Kroot did this, they knew the location of Iedelus's quarters, and they probably used the cracks in the fortress.
I would agree. What did I get to? Because I asked to check the other assassination autopsies to try and find some commonalities, or to.
Yeah, Colton. Okay, so this is what you know about General Colton's bodies. His stuff. General Colton's body was found just north of the Black Zone, while the Chimera, which was escorting him and his crew and honor guard, were killed. Were found all along sections of the landing zone, as if a pitched battle and a retreat happened. No bodies of their assailants were found, however.
How are they killed?
They were killed with a mix of energy weapons of some kind and bladed weapons in close combat.
That sounds pretty standard for Kroot ambush.
Yeah. You can only guesstimate the tank's location, as it has now been cleared from the busy area to allow other transport to go through it. However, the coordinates of the site where Coltrane was found are on record, and you could attempt to perhaps find the trail of the Kroot from there, though it was several months ago when the assassination occurred.
Yeah, I don't think that will lead to anything because it was so long ago.
Well,
and
wait.
So carry on.
So was there? So what survived? Do you say? Sorry, I could barely hear. You said there was a tank.
He was been escorted on a Chimera with his
Okay.
honor guard. The entire patrol was ambushed and killed to a man by energy and blade weapons. And General Coltane was killed by some sort of energy blast to the head, which severed the head from his body.
Right.
And they could only confirm it was him by DNA sampling afterwards.
Okay.
There were
Would it
no
be
bodies of
possible-
assailants left.
Would it be possible to get Uriel near the Chimera so that he could investigate it? I forget what the ability is
Oh,
called. I'm sorry.
they moved the Chimera a long time ago to
Okay.
allow the route to be open for further patrols. So
Okay.
you know the rough location of where Coltrane's body was found, but the scene has been completely cleared up months ago. So
Okay.
How long was he killed ago?
roughly 4 or 5 months ago.
Because surely they have a record of what Chimera it was and where it's.
Yeah, can't we check like serial numbers and distribution files and stuff? We're at Spy Google, for goodness sake.
The Chimera has actually been completely melted down by now. It
Well, we
was
could
sent
also-
to the Mechanicus for
We
distribution.
have the coordinates of where his body was found, though, presumably where he was killed.
Yeah, you have the exact location of where his
Yeah.
body was found. Yeah.
That'd be the next best thing.
Alright, so you
Alright,
said
I'll note down the leads that we got.
said the attempted assassination on Lord Vane was human, a pilot or something, right?
Yes, General Vann was visiting the hive city of Javar Prime. When she returned from her inspection of the defenses and troops of the hive city, her lighter pilot, who was to escort her and her honor guard, when she went in to tell the pilot to, take off, pulled a pistol on her and attempted to kill her. But she managed to wrestle with the man to the ground, and her honor guard took him captive.
Alright.
Oh, is he the one who's in?
He's the
The
one who's in
Sepulchre?
Sepulchre. Yeah.
Okay.
So he is most likely a Tau sympathizer.
Yes.
Or someone who took the fall for her if we're going to go along this super paranoid route.
Because she's the only one so far who Tau has not
Survived.
recruited. Well, no, even that, but a recruit has not been there to attempt.
Well, in theory, yeah.
Yeah.
And so nobody has, and there haven't been any attempts on Lean then.
Not well. I would assume.
No, there have been
it
no
doesn't
attempts
seem
on
to.
Ling because he almost never leaves the super bastion's massively
Okay.
secure thing. So, if anyone can get through 20 massive steel adamantine doors, thousands of
Right.
guards, and hundreds of turrets, they're doing well. So,
I guess,
Yeah, all the others were assassinated when they were vulnerable.
so Sala, can you look for this Blount character in Spy Google?
What do
Yeah.
you mean, Ling?
No, the unknown person.
Blount, the unknown person.
Oh, Blount.
Yeah.
Blount,
Yeah, I don't think I'll turn up much data though.
Worth a try. Might as well whilst we're here.
I
Oof.
failed miserably. It's not meant to be known.
Yep, there are almost
The
no
warp
records.
was like, nope.
If this man ever existed, someone with a great deal of power or influence has completely purged him from almost any record or mention.
I will
Would-
definitely take that up with Ling.
Would that man would ever had any contact with this room? I might be able to sense if anything has happened in this room that we might need to know
Well,
about.
you don't
Well-
know what his presence is, so you don't know what his aura looks like in the warp, so that's
Oh,
impossible.
Yeah, I mean, if he was, because he's in the picture with Van and Ling, we can ask them about him.
You could, yep.
So I will do so. I will go and I will get Ling in here, and I will ask who that man in the picture is.
Okay, so you bring Colonel Ling in, yeah?
Yep.
And he, looks over the picture, which you've zoomed in on and done a CSI shit on. And he just sort of pauses for a moment and says, let me see, what's he say? Ah, yes, Gregorius Blount, formerly Major Blount. He was part of the attachment to this facility a long time ago at the birth of the Ashless Crusade, when we served Lord Militant Ashless instead of his successor Tetricus. I'm afraid that man died many years ago in the Acro salient, and he, died in one of the many pitched battles, and I do not know his fate since then. where his body
Then
turned up.
why are all of his records apparently seemingly missing?
Then he shrugs and says, perhaps someone with higher authority in the Imperium, the Inquisition, or internal Imperial affairs has, somehow removed the files. I have no other information about the man. I have not seen him. The last I saw of him was nearly 25 years ago.
All right. I will thank him for his input. I'm then gonna take him outside. Is Vann still there?
Yeah, Vann is there waiting with her honor guard.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave Ling outside and then ask her to follow me inside on her own, and then ask her about Blount and see what she says about him.
Okay, so she just sort of looks at Blount for a minute and says, yes, Gregorius. Good man, him. I served when I was nothing more than a captain. Must be near 25, 30 years ago. I believe he died somewhere in the Akros salient, not long after this picture was taken. He, Iedelus, Kulpain, and Ling and I were quite good friends during our service here. I was sorry to hear of his death, but I have not seen the man in 25 years, or the last I saw of him was 25 years ago.
Alright, can I do any sort of scrutiny checks on either of them?
Yep, you can do a scrutiny check, sure.
Alright.
You stare at the wall.
Nice. I look at the wrong. I'm like looking at her. Oh, I'm too distracted by the space.
All humans look the same to you. You look at.
That was for Ling. The next one will be for
Yeah,
and she's harder to read, so she's -10.
Okay. Ah.
You can bump it over if you want.
Go on then. But this is what I do as a dark angel.
She is lying.
Interesting. I will get a little. I will put myself between her and the door, but I won't say anything yet. I will say over the Vox, the good General Vann appears to be lying, brothers.
I charge in her and shoot in her head. No, I don't. I say, Uriel, how can you interrogate her? But sneakily, I don't know. Can you get information out of her without her reporting back to the general of your activities?
I think she may know what I'm doing. I have to be in her presence, and I must read the warp signatures around her for a small amount of time. We must stay in contact, and this might not make her... Well, she will probably know something is going on.
While he does that, I'd like to make a Medicaid diagnose roll in order to determine if there's any kind of physical abnormality that she has, like non-Imperium implants or some even looking for corruption.
Yep, sure, go for it.
Okay,
By the way,
hit 0.
Yeah.
Hit 0-1.
Yeah.
So, should I count my diagnoster helm?
Yep.
Okay, so at +20. Wow, and I still failed. I'll tip it over.
Okay. She is completely human. She possesses no mutations. She has various implants. They are bionic and of Imperial pattern. She has no abnormalities whatsoever.
Okay.
Warren, with regards to my scrutiny of her and being able to tell that she was lying, do I have any insight into, why she's lying, whether it's, purposefully or out of fear or anything like that?
You do not have enough degrees of success to differentiate. You only know she's lying.
Okay.
So, Lorgath, do you wish me to read her future?
I say, brothers, we know that General Vann has been holding some information back from us about this character. We've use the spy machine, I say we investigate the other areas first, and then once we have more information, we do a more detailed interrogation of her. Is everyone in the? Does anyone have any qualms with this plan?
The information she is withholding may be harmful.
If she knows, if she's lying and she goes to ground, we may never get another chance to interrogate her or peer into her aura. So it is my opinion that we should take the opportunity now before she has the chance to run if she chooses to do so.
I agree. Capture her if necessary.
Does she still have her honor guard present in the?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm into the room.
I'm also. How many exits are there? Just the one that we.
Just the one very large adamantine door.
Okay. I'm. Who's blocking it right now?
Solomon.
Okay, I'll join Solomon in blockading the door. Just kind of, just walk over.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think the best thing for me to use is augury, which is a non-opposed extended 10 action.
Oh,
Augury is reading of the Emperor's turret, which you could do, I suppose.
Also, over the Vox, I point out that I do have a dose of deadlock, and so if she resists, we may be able to take her non-lethally.
I was just gonna grab her and beat her.
No. We should see if she'll come willingly, and then if she won't.
I'm saying if she resists, but yeah.
I guess
if she resists,
I guess I'll walk up to her and say, Asaika believes that because you were in close relations to this Blount character, that if he reads some of your warp signatures, he may be able to retrieve more information about him. Even though you do say he is dead, but many people have died and came back to cause mishaps.
Solomon pipes up and says, "This is all our mission, and our investigation must be thorough, of course, Lord General Vann."
Roll fellowship for me, someone.
I guess I'll do it.
Oh, please tell me you've put some points in it now.
Why is it without a helmet on?
+5.
5. Alright, this is gonna go terribly. I have 6 fate points, it will go fine. Can I bump it up twice? You can't,
no.
Can you? Okay, re-roll.
Wait, I have more fellowship there. Good job.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, she looks at you quizzically for a moment and says, "Very well then. If you deem it absolutely necessary, Space Marines, I will acquiesce to whatever you need."
Can I check her heart rate to see her response?
Sure.
And other hormonal imbalances that might indicate that she's going to try and resist?
Yep, you can do a diagnostic to see how she reacted to.
Okay, still at 0?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm stealthily contacting Lorgath and saying, think of a question which you might want answered if I am able to succeed in this test.
She is stone cold, without fear or emotion. Very stoic.
Okay.
We have to tread carefully here because she's got such connections to Ebengrave that we can't kill her or manhandle her really without good proof because.
Okay, so Uriel, you're going to conduct an augury, yeah?
Yes.
So Uriel takes out his Emperor's Tarot, which is essentially a bunch of cards which will basically foresee the future or answer a question. So you need during the reading, both the psyker and the subject must remain in contact. So you basically tell her to kneel, and you place your hand on her head, your powered armor hand on her head, and then you ask a question, a very, very specific question. It has to be either specific or broad, but the more broad it is, the less likely you're to get a concise answer. So
yeah.
Maybe
it's up
something
to
to
you.
do with
will she betray?
Lying about Blount about information regarding Blount or something.
Yeah, I was thinking something about either if she's lying, or about why she's lying, or more
An
about
augury is about the future.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking more about will she betray us, or will she lead to betrayal, or will she betray the Emperor or something like that?
Well, no, don't say will she betray the Emperor, because she might have already betrayed the Emperor.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. If we come up with a more precise question while I'm rolling and stuff.
I'm going to continue monitoring her biosigns and that of her honor guard to see if there are any trebles.
Maybe something to do with will her actions benefit the enemies of the Imperium or something?
Yeah, because if I ask that, okay, keep that in your mind for the moment. So if I push, I can get it to +9, which is my full, all the results.
Yeah, but then psychic shit happens.
Otherwise, I get between 7 and 8,
and
which is 1.
You best pray it's not fucking
exactly
destroy all the machines in the room, because that would be very bad.
Well,
exactly. So I think the only extra bit of information I get is I ask. I get a single sentence of advice of the subject, considering the clearest path to their answer. So,
yeah,
if it's something to do with
by Google,
if it's something to do with will she betray us, and then or whatever, then I get to find out if how we'd best stop her betraying us or something like that. So it's not really amazing having the extra. So I'm just going to roll it unpushed, so unfettered.
Okay, so flat willpower them.
Yep.
Unless you have anything else that gives you bonuses. So.
Yeah, psychic hood, so just +5.
Yep.
Do it. And no doubles.
No doubles. Okay, so what's your psi rating then?
It's now 8.
8, okay. So, what's your question, first of all?
What was the exact wording that you just said?
Did you want mine?
Yeah. Mine was very good.
Mine was, will her actions benefit the enemies of the Imperium?
So that's what you asked, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's probably... Yeah.
Okay, the psyker determines the most dangerous opposition the subject will face. Her actions will not lead you directly into conflict with enemies of the Imperium. They will indirectly lead you into contact with enemies of the Imperium. Plus above, the psyker also determines other negative forces that may be present. The psyker can determine as many forces as the PR.
8.
Okay, there will be a great many enemies involved in the mission ahead of you. There's one very clear enemy that immediately pops into your mind's eye. You see a Tau. Without question, the Tau will play a great deal in this. You see humans wearing the insignia of the Tau. You see Imperial Guardsmen. And then immediately after that, as you're about to see another vision, something very powerful blocks your sight. Okay. As a bold plus, the psyker determines the best advantage or tool that the subject can use for the situation. Okay. So, you can tell that Vann bears no hostility towards you, is a loyal servant of the Imperium, and that she herself will be the most useful tool.
Okay.
So,
can we only ask the one question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I personally, I don't think she's probably not part of any sort of sympathizers or enemies or anything. She's probably lying for some other reason, maybe fear or
she's been told to by her commanders.
Been told to, or she doesn't want to remember Blount for some reason. I don't know.
So I give this information to everyone else, and so they know that.
Alright, so someone more sociable ask her this, because my Dark Angel is liable to just start...
Uriel, roll Forbidden Lore Xenos for me. Flat, if possible. The Tau you saw in your vision was an ethereal. Okay.
Are those stealthy ones?
No, they are the leaders of the Tau Empire.
Yeah, they're the mind-controlling ones.
So people say with their pheromones and stuff. Yeah, but so I don't think her lie is necessarily like hostile or against us. It's, as you know, more benign, if a lie can be considered such.
Worst case scenario, she might have some kind of perverse belief that she's going to do better for the crusade than Evangrave will be, and because he's becoming paranoid, and he might. Right. But I mean, that's the worst case scenario. So
she might consider that because we've engaged with Evangrave, she might consider we're like now on the same side as him, and therefore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone more sociable. Ask her further about this, because my Dark Angel is just liable to start going Liam Neeson or Batman on me.
I'm very not fellowshipy.
Oh, you're gonna grab her, hang her upside down, and say, "Where are the heretics?
Where are your other lies?"
So, what information did we find out? Sorry, I missed the first part.
You find out that she's not directly going to cause you to fight enemies of the Emperor, but she will indirectly cause you to meet the enemies of the Emperor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Maybe you should directly ask her why she's lied to us. I don't know if that's going to cause too much trouble.
I personally can see no forward investigation questions that could lead to obvious assistance.
Okay, then I tell her that her tarot is very positive.
Her tarot, okay, sure. So she looks at you sort of quizzically for a moment and then says, "I hope you gleaned whatever information you could from the Emperor, Brother Librarian," and she walks back to her honor guard.
You'll meet a tall, dark, and handsome man within the next 24 hours.
So no one else is gonna like quiz her further then?
I mean, I have like no fellowship. I've got good intimidate, but then we all do. So
yeah, okay. I'm gonna like.
I say leave the lady alone.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I don't think we have enough social leverage right now to actually do anything significant without like just badgering the crap out of her. So I'd say just leave it and move on to something until we get more.
Well, does anyone have any more questions for Spy Google?
Why?
I think I had one.
As leader?
Anyone?
I'm good, I think.
I guess as Lorgath be like, does anyone have any more questions for the parties involved here, or any more questions for the spy machine?
I don't think so. Like, I think I have a question, but if I just sit here, whatever. I'm good.
I do. Solomon's made a decision. Yeah. Where is Vann right now?
Vann is still with her honor guard, waiting to like escort you wherever you need to go.
All right. So I'm just gonna confirm a suspicion. Personally, of Solomon. So I'm gonna call her back over, and I'm gonna go. One more thing, Lord General, if you please.
Yeah, she stops on her way back and says, "Yes, what can I do for you, Space Marine?"
I either get closer to her or I motion for her to get closer to me. Either way. And I just go, I must be sure we must have all knowledge and avenues open to us in our investigation if we are to find the root of this problem, of this affront to the Emperor and the Imperium. Are you certain that you cannot give us any more information regarding Blount or anything else? And I watch her very carefully.
I will also be monitoring again. Just
Okay, well, make your Medicaid thing then again.
Great.
And she answers you, just sternly looks at you and just says, "No, my lord, I have not seen Blount since his departure to the Akros salient 25 years ago, and I, much like all the other staff here, simply saw his death in the casualty lists. I believe there was a small memorial held for him with those who knew him, though I did not attend, and that was the last of the man.
Very well. And
her heartbeat rises a bit as she says this.
Okay. I silently over Vox. I inform Solomon.
Do you know what that would indicate specifically or not?
It indicates like trepidation or anxiety, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. It concerns Cyberthan that if she is in fact lying and she has and her heartbeat only rises by that margin, then she's a very skilled and controlled liar to be lying to a group of 6 of Space the Deathwatch's kill squad or kill team. So that to me, as an apothecary, would be very unsettling.
Would you voice that unsettlement?
Oh yes, yeah.
All right. I will say one more thing, and I will just go. It unsettles me, Lord General, that you seem... You clearly knew this man, did you not? You were close friends, you yourself mentioned, yet you know so little of him, even if he perished in the Acro salient so long ago. Are you sure your memory has not failed you? And then as I do this, I just sort of like wave my hand as if like dismissing sort of what I've just said, and I go, but I apologize. Surely this badgering does no good. In the name of the Emperor, we will be on our way. I know that you have told the truth to the servants, the angels of death, the angels of the Emperor's service. And then I motion like to the rest of the kill team that I'm done.
Okay, well, she just bows and says, I knew the man that he was, but that was 25 years ago, my lord, and many men have died since then. He is just one among thousands I have known. A good man, but just a man nonetheless. I fail to see why you keep asking me about him. However, I will assist you in any way you need, and if there's anywhere else you would like to attend, I will provide you with escort.
I went ahead and rolled to monitor her response.
Yep, she gets a bit more anxious. Clearly, her heartbeat raises a few, beats per minute as she talks about this man. But other than that, she seems to be very accomplished in controlling her emotions. Like, she spends a great deal of her time doing just that. So she clearly knows something about this man. He's clearly more to her than she's letting on. But
I can't assess her hormone levels to determine if she's excreting receptors indicating fear or some kind of specific emotion.
No, she's not afraid, or anything like that. She just she's anxious, if anything. That's about it.
Okay.
I vox over to the rest of the kill team before she starts leaving. You can hear like contempt in Solomon's voice, definitely. It is unsettling to me that in the face of Space Marines of the Imperium that she would so clearly lie.
You will get the Emperor's justice for lying to the Holy Astartes. Not now, Solomon.
Okay, so anywhere you guys want to go, or do you want to stay in the spy room and spy more?
Before we leave, I'm assuming that we're all like walking out the door at this point. But I follow up behind, and as I turn to go, and I'm assuming, I don't know if this would be like an intimidate check. I would be trying to rattle her loose a little bit while simultaneously monitoring her. But I turn to Zabrathan turns to the general and says, "General, we will follow this investigation thoroughly to wherever it leads," and then emphasize again, wherever it leads.
Alright, so she just sort of nods and says, "I would expect nothing else from the vaunted members of the Deathwatch."
Great. Should I go ahead and roll?
Yep,
sure. For intimidate or just medicate?
You can just make medicate.
Okay. Oh.
Yep, so now that you're not mentioning the man's name, she seems a stone wall again. Okay. So it only seems to be the particular mention of that man that makes any difference.
Okay, so she's either involved and not afraid of us ever finding her, or she's not involved and she's genuinely just afraid of Blount or Blonde or whatever.
Alright, so now that we're done here, we have discovered...
You have a number of locations you can go. You can go talk to Septimus Strain, the Colonel in the Four Pillars camp.
Yeah, I wrote these down, I remembered now.
Yeah. Or you can go to Javar Prime and inspect whatever wreckage you can recover of the Silent Pilgrim and attempt to augury it or whatever. You can go to the Sepulchre and interrogate the prisoner that tried to kill Ran, or you can go to where what's his name? Colette died?
Colton and Iedelus.
Colton, and track where you believe the crew may have run off to after they killed him in his patrol.
I feel like we should go investigate Strain first, just in case the political situation devolves and we end up losing him.
In my mind, the priority list we do Strain, go to where the attack was held, the Chimera, and go to the spaceship and then investigate this prisoner.
I would agree.
And then based on, obviously variables can change in the mission, but look into Vann as well.
So, we make our way to
the Black Zone.
Okay.
I drive the Land Raider all the way there.
You do not have the Land Raider with you. It is on top. It is in the ship you came in.
Yeah, we should only call it down if necessary.
Yeah, you were explicitly stated you have to make this as low-key as possible, and that's the only reason Sebastogor or Ebengrave is even allowing you to continue your investigation.
We all roll in, our mag boots locked atop the Land Raider.
Yeah.